Howdy, y'all, and good evening. It's Globex time, our Asian session, coming into Frankfurt here in a little while. I wanted to talk about some of the trades tonight that were a little obvious on the chart. Let's talk about anchored VWAP tonight, and that's specifically anchored to a session. And I'm going to talk about support and resistance levels that are kind of obvious on the chart, but are not automatically drawn, but you could. Okay, let's talk about trades. Here's Globex Open. The first pop up, that was a nice pop up there. The first pop up is usually a fake one. It opened up, gap up just a little bit, right? And then what happened? We had a VPOC shift up here, which drove that indicator to turn on for the short, which I took right there. My stop loss was 9 ticks, so it was up here. 40.58, 40.59, 40.60, 50. So my stop loss was way up here at 40.60, right? So price didn't even come close to it. What did I have as my lean? What am I leaning against? I'm leaning against value area high here, this zone basically here. I'm leaning against that. I'm leaning against that VPOC shift to drive me down, which is exactly what it did. Came down here, popped up, and then sold off. And you can see where it came down, first contract, right? Here's the pattern that VWAP, price action, and VWAP usually follow. What happens is price action will it'll meander around for the first few minutes, for about 5-10 minutes here, and then settle down a little bit. Here's where it came through, and here's the pattern. See the top here comes down through. Usually the first time it comes down through the anchored VWAP right there. You could take your short there if you wanted to. That's a little high. That's a little riskier short. It's a not as high probability as the one that I took that I'm going to show you. So it comes down here, forms a lower value area low right there, pops up to the Asian Globex VWAP that's coming down, right? This is a high probability short right here, guys. High probability short. Let me draw my thing around it here. This is a high probability short. Comes back up, taps it, maybe goes a tick or two on the other side, and then sells off. Okay, I've got my first contract off right here at this guy. So stops removed to break even at this particular point. Came back a little bit. You see this this guy right here? That is a 3-day VPOC. Very important. Comes down, right? Pops up a little bit, almost to the VPOC, but not quite, right? Not quite. And then comes down, sliding down here. My second contract's off, so that trade's done, right? Okay, here's your second chance at it. Comes back up. I short it as it's coming up. I should have shorted it as it's coming down, but I didn't. I should have shorted it on that red candle. Popped up, came down. It didn't go very far against me, but you don't know that, right? That was my mistake. So I'm taking this thing on the way up. I should have taken it on the way down at right about the same price point, at about 55, 40, 55, 50. So what happens? Get in the 9 ticks. Here's 9 ticks. At this point, I realize that this 3-day VPOC has moved down. So you have a natural support zone between value area low and that VPOC. Nice little thing. So I drew that in just to show that. So we come down, we got filled up there. As it came back up here, it popped up here. I put in a long trade, right? Again, I should have taken it when it came back up, but I didn't. Well, my stop loss would have been, you could have had a very tight stop loss from 40.54 to 40.52.50, right? So that's what, 6 ticks? It's a nice stop loss. That's just, and people say, oh, you can't get by without a, a 5 point stop loss. Well, that's 6 ticks. That's not 6 points. That's 6 ticks right there. Or well, actually 7, because I usually run with a 9-tick stop loss, and you have to pick your entry points pretty carefully. So that's a VPOC. That's a 3-day VPOC that has just shifted down. So I've got a level of support. Again, support here. My stop loss is down here. I get 9 ticks. And I buy it. What happens? It pulls back against me a little bit, which I should have grabbed it right there. And runs right up. There's my 9 ticks. Okay. Now I take, then it pops back down here, and I take a long right here. I could have taken a long right here. Either place, the pullback. Okay. Now here's the, again, let me go through the pattern. Through, tap back, down, into support. Here's your support zone, obvious support zone. Pops up, VWAP, short VWAP again, right? Comes back to your support zone right here. I drew a resistance zone in here, by the way. There's your resistance zone right there. Supply and demand. There's my 9 ticks off as it pulls back. Okay, it's pull back, pull back. Now it's gone through, right? It's gone significantly through, not just a couple of ticks and come down. All right. Now it's come back up, come down, back up, retests that Asian VWAP and goes back north, right? So I could have taken that long anywhere from here, usually, going up right there. Okay. Now there's my 9 ticks right there from here to here, right? Okay. Next trade comes back up here, almost to right up to the support. Remember my support zone I drew right here? Drew a little box there to my support zone. Okay. I didn't take the short there. I did take a trade right here, which as it was coming down again, I got to get out of the habit of taking them when they come down and taking them when they come back up, right? So that was that a short? Yeah. Took the short there, right here, because I'm already coming down. It's probably going to go right through VWAP because they drove it all the way up here, and then they're going to come all the way back down. Took that short right there. It just barely filled. Came back up and started popping up, filled. First thing I did, I'm sitting over here. I'm right there on that limit order, right? So as it pops down, and I'm waiting, as it pops down into this zone, the first thing I do is go bam, and I'm into the long trade again. Filled into the long trade as it comes back up through that 3-day VPOC right there. So even if I'd have missed that trade there, I still would have gone in the long right here because you're still in that support zone, right? Bought another one there as it came up through VWAP. Okay, pull back a little bit again. I need to stop doing that. I need to wait till it comes back, and get a green candle. But that's okay. It worked out. And there's my first from here, from the 3-day VPOC. I got my 9 ticks. I got a second 9 ticks in play, right? And there's my 9 ticks off, and I'm done, right? So we've got 1, 2, we had no losing trades, right? 1, 2, 3, took it off support, 4, and took another long, should have taken it here, but I took it there. 9 ticks. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trades there. 7, 8. So that's a relatively quick $800. Now we're forming another support zone up here right near the settlement price. So from 1800 to midnight, hey, $800. I'm not going to complain. That's a very good deal. Very good early Globex session. And now I'm going to sit on my hands unless we have another pullback down to VWAP. See what happens. And we will see you guys later. Have an absolutely wonderful morning. I think I'm going to lay down for a while, maybe for a couple hours, and get up and see what Frankfurt's doing, and then the London session. And I'll be back probably with another video of that session. See ya.